Hi everyone, sorry about that. As you can see, I'm a little bit further along in my makeup in this video, which is part 3 of the makeup. Um, my phone was full of space and I had to delete some things, so here we are, we're back again. So subscribe if you want to see lots of videos, hit the bell button if you want to be updated with new uploads, and give a likes up if you do like this video or any of the other videos. So as you can see, I'm a little bit further ahead, like I said. Practice makes perfect. Don't worry, I'm going to walk you through on what I did. And I'm actually going to do another series of videos where I go more in depth with what I'm doing and how I do it. Just specifically, let's say the eyes, blocking out the eyebrows, which was pretty in depth, but I'm going to show you different styles and how to do it. Let's get into this. Oh, starting to get a runny nose. So what I've done is I actually went in with my contour color and I packed in just a little bit more. From there, I actually went into this Pixie by Petra, which I got, it was just on sale. I thought I'd give it a shot and give it a try and see what goes on. Now the colors I used was this one here, which is the Sheer Sand. I laid that down first to give me an idea on where I wanted to go. And as you can see, some of it pops through, which is fine because as soon as you start putting on black or any other color, it should cover it up, especially with the black. As you can see, it does. Then from there, I went in and I laid out a little bit more contour color. It's more like a chocolate color, but they call it Bronze Gleam. So I did that one just to fill it in a little bit more, and I blended that in. Now from there, I actually went over to my Rimmel London, which $11.99. Shoppers Drug Mart if you're in Canada. It's the Magnifies Electric Violet Edition Eye Contouring Palette. Now what I did was I went in with this tone here and just packed it in lightly. Just right where I had put the darker colors and the shimmer. So in between the light tone and the darker tone, I put that in. Now what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to go in with a black, but on this side so you can see how I'm doing it, and then I'm going to continue from there. So I'm taking a darker brush and I'm actually going in with a black. It's just a matte black. And I'm going to go like this. And I'm going to fill in where I want it to match this side. And now as you can see, I'm bringing that up just a bit so I can blend it out. Now, because I've got that far, I normally go down and do under my eyes like this one has on my right, maybe your left. I'm not sure. I don't know how it views. So I've gone down that far, as you can see, and it comes out quite a bit on this side, and that's fine because that's how I want this side to be. Now, if you notice, I do have some makeup flaking off here. We'll fix that when we're done. So what I'm going to do, because like in my other videos, practice makes perfect, I actually have a damp washcloth in front of me, and I just take the brush, swipe it on there. And because my shirt is already dirty, might want to wear an older shirt, I'm just taking it on my sleeve and doing that. So from there, I'm actually going to take this. Now hopefully it doesn't, and I've got enough off of there. And I'm just going to blend it out a little bit more. Now as you can see, I still have powder on this side, and you can see a little bit of fallout here. I've already taken it off this side because this side I finished off camera. This side I'm going to finish on camera with you so you can see. Now as you can tell, I've already gone up. kind of looks symmetrical. We're going to go with that. I usually take a look back and it seems all right. So what I'm going to do now, because I've got enough black on there, I'm going to go in with a liquid liner. Now you can use the gel liners, you can use a liner pencil, whatever you want to do. Originally, when I did this side, I actually went in with my black that I used before. Oh, dropped it into the sink, that's okay. So that's what I'm going to do this time. Now I'm just going to come down like I've done on my other eye. And I'm just creating that little wing there. Now don't be alarmed if you get a little bit of gunk in your eye. If you're very careful, you can take it off at the end of your brush and then just wipe it away. So now I'm going in, like I said, with the liquid liner because I do have it. This is just a basic Essence Super Last liner, deep black. It says 18 hours, but we all know as soon as you put the makeup remover on there, it comes off. So, like I said, just going in, and I'm being very liberal with it at this point because I do want it to match the other eye, but I don't want to have to keep going in and getting more and more on there. So that's what we're doing. Now that I've gotten to this side, because once I go in and I set that with another black powder, I'm actually just going up a little bit because it is a little dry. Now once I start to blend that out, it's going to be a little bit better. So that goes there. Black again. This time I just have a loose pigment. And as you start to blend it out, you pick some of that up and it starts to go with it. So you don't have to really worry about going in too rough with it. But you really, unless you have a fan in front of you to kind of dry that, I wouldn't worry too much. Now you can go, once you get up here and you want to start to blend it out to look like the other side, if you're doing my face. If not, don't worry about it. It's roughly the same thing. You're just going in. Now be careful because it is your eye. You don't want to really rough that up for you. So now it's kind of the same. So what we're going to do now is I'm actually going to take that brush and I'm going to start down here while I still have product on this. So you see how it's starting to come down? Now I still have that fallout there, and that's okay. Now you may have to go in with it again because you can see where that stuff is starting to pop through there, and that's all right. We're just going in a little bit more and adding to it. And we will go in because we already did that little bit of a cut crease there. As you can see, this side is more feminine than this side, but this side you can see it because of the light. So like I said, and then we're just gonna lightly go in there. Now that should be okay for now with that. Yes. Now, because I did go under my eye, what I'm going to do next is I'm going to take the one that I used for my purplish color and I'm going to pick it up, just go in there, and I'm going to start bringing that under here as well. So there's a little bit of a hint of it. Doesn't have to be a lot. And while that's going on, it's actually dragging the darker black over with it. Wonderful. Now I noticed that I think I might want a little bit more here, so I'm going to be extra careful, and I'm just going to tap from what I already have on there. I'm just tapping it on, and that looks pretty good. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take just a basic, I think this is from Avon, yeah. It's one of their glimmer sticks. Now it's a brow definer, but it's in soft black. Now what I've noticed is it's actually pretty good as an eyeliner as well, and a lip liner. Like I said, practice makes perfect. Make sure you don't have anything on your hand unless you put a clean powder puff here, and then you can go in with it. But I just make sure that I have nothing on my hand. And now all I'm going to do is I'm going to try to match this side with this one. So I'm just going in. With the sharpest point that I can get on it. Now, I noticed that this one's different than this one, and that's fine because you can go in and you can fix it. So there, it's a little bit open here more than this side. We can fix that with the white foundation and adding a little bit of that white glitter dust by Mayron, which is absolutely fantastic because that's what's on the inside of my eyes here. You won't see it too much. Maybe I can take a picture and post it. We'll see. Okay, so one thing I want to do is I kind of want to blend this out just a little bit. This line that I just put in there. So as I got is just a basic angle brush. There's nothing on it. I used it on this side to just go in, and I'm starting on the inner side and I'm brushing into the darker stuff. Because then what I can do is I can take this in the other direction and soften that line, that transition mark. So it's a little bit softer, which is good. It's a little off still, but I made this one a little bit thicker because we're going to go in and fix that. So what we can do, because we still have this brush here from when I was doing the eyebrows earlier, and there is still product on there. There is that white foundation. So what we can actually do is go in and touch up that line. So it makes it a little bit wider. Now we can go over here on this side as well and do the same thing. If they're a little off, don't panic. We can't be perfect all the time. So what I'm going to do, because I've done that, I'm actually just going to go in with a smaller brush. We'll go in. This is another angled brush I have, and I actually have another end here. And I'm just going to dab that on there. So it gives that little bit of a shimmer. There's just a little hint of a shimmer there. So, as I was saying, we wanted to fix up here to match. So what we're going to do is we're actually just going to take the brush that we put the powder on with, and we're just going to blend into it so it softens that line for you. Now, like I said in my other videos, I'm not picky on the brushes I have. This is just a dollar store brush. It actually works quite great, like fantastic. So I'm not fussy on it. Forgot I had powder there. Just gotta wait a few seconds. But as you can tell, I've started to blend it in so it looks almost identical. Now what I'll do is with this glitter powder is I'll actually go up and I'll put it on my top part as well, the highlights under my brow bones. But I also have another shimmer that I used on this side that I'll use on this side. Oh. Now you're getting it raw and uncut. Now, if that happens, and you wait just a few moments, and it starts to subside, just go in and try to not really brush it out, but just kind of scrape it off. As it starts to pool up kind of on the bottom of your water line, just go in and just lightly take it off. Now this portion, so as you can see, the eyes virtually done. All except for the lashes and so on. So I'm just taking that same brush I was just using, that I got the stuff in my eye, layering on this shimmer, LA Color Shimmering Loose Eyeshadow with Brush. Now I've taken the brush out of it, I really don't care for it. Came from the dollar store, I just wanted to try it out. And I actually like it. It's very good. And you can just do it on a budget. So there, that's all I'm doing is I'm just taking it on the brush and I'm putting it in just to give it that little shimmer pop. Over where I've already blended stuff into it. There. So that part's done. Now what I'm going to do now, as you can see on this side, I've already taken a lot of the stuff off. Let me just move a couple things here before it goes flying. So I'm going to go in. Now here, although it looks like I'm going really quick and hard, I'm not. Because I don't want that dark pigment that was from my eye, the fallout, to fall down. And there, it's virtually the same. Next up, I'm actually going to do my lips. But first, because I was sweating in the other videos, and I just kept putting powder on, you can see where it looks like I have a mustache. I'm actually going to go in with the foundation again, put it all in there, and then I'm going to blend it up in, because as you can tell, it's not very good lighting, but I don't want this to be as prominent as it shows, which are my, I guess you could call them laugh lines. So what you can do in that situation, it works great if I'm actually impersonating Bette Midler. I use them. I just bring the contour up a little bit higher so it gives me that apple ball cheek that she has. But in this case, I'm going to try to make it a little bit brighter so then it stands out. Not the light stands out, but as you can tell, there's shadow there. If you put a lighter contour in that spot, it actually doesn't cast as big of a shadow. So I'm just going to grab my powder, or my sponge that I used earlier. And because there's still makeup on it, you can usually get away with just kind of putting it on there. But what we're going to do is I'm actually going to get my foundation for that. Now that's the fairest tone. I don't want that color. I want more of a lighter tone. So let's go, no, don't want a fair olive. Let's see here. Did I have it down here? Yeah, we could use that one. So what we'll do is I'll actually go in. Like I said, I have these lines here so you can see them. Now it's because the light is above me, you can see it more. Off in the distance you can see it. So what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to go in with the white foundation and try to correct it. So I'm going to end up going in. Some of this will be blended out a little bit more. But if you go in with your white, it should counteract a lot of that. So we're just going to go in here and I'm just lightly brushing it on. So see how it's kind of softened it? I'm going to do it on this side as well, even though you can't really see it in the camera. I can see it quite fine. There. So it softened it. It's not as bright, but we're going to go in and we're actually going to blend it a little bit more. So like I said, I'm just going in, I'm adding this in here. I just want it to be a little bit lighter. And actually, while we're at it, to give the option of the like a fuller top lip, if you go in and you just kind of make, now you can contour, a lot of people shimmer, I will do that at the end. But if you go in and right where that Cupid's bow is, you go up like this, just add a little bit on there. It makes it stick out a little bit more because I do overdraw my lips. Not a ton, but I do overdraw my lips. So there, I have that on. So let's go down here actually. No, I forgot a step. Pardon me. We have to go back in with this, which is my fairest tone. It is a light tone that I did use in some of the other spots. And what we're going to do is I'm actually going to take that sponge and I'm adding more in there. Now because I have the white there, you can barely see it. You can see it on the camera, but in the mirror, you can't really see it. So I'm just going in, and what I'm doing is I'm taking it and I'm blending it up. Into the lighter tone that I had up here. And this is actually a good way to clean up some of the mess that you have, if there is any messes. Because it actually blends in with that white. And let's go down a little bit more here. Let's see how it's a little bit lighter. So what I'll do is I'll actually go in with my translucent. Now that I have that in place to where I want it, I'll go in with my translucent. I'll start putting that in. And we'll go from there. because it is a lighter tone. I want this area here to be the look that you see. So I'm just gonna grab my translucent and a loose powder puff that I used earlier. And what I'm gonna do is just go in like this. Because anywhere there was loose powder or the wet foundation, you want to go in and just set it. So that's what I'm doing right now. Now, as you can see, I'm going down. Now, I am carrying it up because I didn't finish pulling it all the way up, which is fine because if you just add the powder there, it just gives this. So I'm done with that. Now what I'm gonna do, just while that bakes a little bit longer, I'm gonna go in and I'm gonna start sculpting with some of the other powders that I have. So first things first, I always go in with a blush and I just go around everywhere that I have contour. I put it as dark as I can and I start blending it out. And as I'm blending it out, this will start to disappear, so you won't see it as much. So I just take one of my old ones, make sure there's nothing on it. Now, my brushes are not completely clean, but they've only been used on my face, so it's not that bad. Now, I do recommend that you do clean them. We'll go through a video another time. See how I'm just going up here, like just up here on this part, and then I'm warming it up. But because we had a little bit up here, I'm going up with it. I'm going to do the same thing on this side. Now it's just to warm up that edge, and it is working, as you can tell on this side. And then I go in, same thing here. I just warm it up a little bit more. Don't be afraid if you think your contour is getting on here, because you're just covering the contour anyways. See, we're just warming it up. That's all we're doing. And then we're going up into the contour we have on our head, on the top, and we're warming that transition up. See? We can do it on our nose, but sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't work. So all you do, if you have a puffy brush, you don't want to get a smaller one to make it more defined, you just, that's all you're doing, is just flicking it out. Just like that. And as you're flicking it, if there's any product that's on here, it's flying off. It's not flying into your face. So there, we've got that. Now that that's kind of baked a bit, we're actually going to go in and just start blending that out just a bit. See, it's not as pronounced as it was earlier. It is when I start talking or anything, but that really adds to the look. But if you stand back, you're not seeing it as much, because I am a man. Now, this way, yes, of course, but head on, if you're talking to somebody or standing on stage with a microphone in your hand, it's not going to show up as much. So now that we have that portion done, just making sure that I get it all. We're going to go in with another pressed powder, the same thing that I did earlier with the Wet n Wild for the contour and everything. But in this case, it is Natural Buff. So what I do here is I just take a big flat brush, make sure there's nothing on it, and I just go like this. Just rub it on there, see? And then I start to buff. I buff it all. Because I'm adding that powder. This is a fantastic brush. I absolutely love it. It's from Quill. Add it here. As you can see, I'm just taking it on the edge, going like that, and I'm getting enough product on there. And then I'm just lightly adding it. Now, I'm done with that. That is all I wanted to do. Now in this case, this is Essence Pure Nude Space Lighter. Now I don't know if you can get this in the States. It's a number 20 Be My Space Light. It's actually just a shimmer. That's all it is. Now what I do in that case is I just take another brush. We'll see which one I want to use. You know what? We'll just use the same thing again. And I'm just going on there like this. Same way. Same way. Just getting it on. And I'm just brushing it in place. Right there. If you have to put a little bit more on, put a little bit more on. Just because I want here to stand out a little bit more. Now it is late at night, and of course I haven't put anything extra on my face to make sure that I don't have bags under my eyes. But that we will go through. In another series of videos. So like I said, we just going down here like this. Just adding it. I just have a little bit of shimmer there. Don't know if it shows up in the camera very well, but as you can see, compared to the first video, my face is very feminized compared to where it was. And the only thing left to do is to finish the nose and the lips, and then we're good to go. Lips are absolutely fantastic. I'll show you how I do them, and then you can practice on your own. Sorry if I'm out of camera there. But first things first, because I finished just about everything except for the nose and the lips, which I'll do in a separate video, I just wanted to touch base on different products you can use for your eye. Now, NYX has a glitter primer, which goes, I had never heard of it before, and now I just love it. Now it does come out, even that much lasts a long time. It's absolutely fantastic. You could even take your finger and just start putting it in there, and it will stay on. That glitter will stay all night. I've never had an issue with it, and as you can tell from the earlier videos, I sweat quite a bit. I'm a big guy. I may be 5'8", but I'm like 225, somewhere in that area, and once I get the body on, the whole 9 yards, it's just, I bake. But that is some very good stuff. Relatively cheap. I think this was $4 something I got it for. Just at a local drugstore. And same thing if you go to the dollar store. Like this is from Dollarama. I haven't used them yet because I'm gonna actually do it in another video. It's just these little, what are they called? Eyeshadow applicators. They're actually really good to use, especially if you're putting on the glitter or whatever the case may be. It really helps. And you can just throw them out. You can get different applicators, and especially if you go to the dollar store, it doesn't matter what dollar store. For foundation wise, you can definitely use those cosmetic sponges. They come in a pack of what, 50, something like that. Cheap, like under $3. So, and depending on where you go, but I picked mine up from Dollar Tree, $1.25 everything. Some of the stuff I've used tonight, I've actually picked up from the Dollar Tree, and as you can see, it's not that bad. Yes, a lot of people look down on it, but it is what it is. Now, like I said, next video, which is part 4, I think, because I'm doing all these videos in one night, is going to be lips and finishing the nose, and then I'm going to give you a walkthrough on setting up a little package if you're on the go and you need to have the basic makeup to do a show if you get a call an hour before it's supposed to start. So hit the subscribe button if you want to follow me on YouTube. It is appreciated. Hit the likes up button. Give me a thumbs up if you like the video. And if you really want to stay up to date, click on that bell button, because anytime I post a video, it will come up and you will get the notification. So until the next video, we'll talk to you later.